She was forbidden. But I couldn't let go. It all started the night I returned to Ashbourne Manor, the ancestral home that had been in my family for generations. The place carried whispers in its walls, a silence too heavy to ignore, as if every shadow had its own memory to guard. I hadn't been there in years, not since my father's death. But an unexpected letter from my uncle, James, had summoned me back. It was worded strangely, almost pleading, as if some unfinished business weighed on him that only I could resolve. I didn't know what to expect, but I certainly wasn't prepared for her. She appeared in the grand hallway the moment I stepped through the oak doors, her presence both startling and magnetic. Long dark hair cascaded down her back, her eyes shimmering with something that felt like defiance laced with danger. She wasn't just beautiful, she was the kind of woman who made you forget to breathe, the kind who pulled your soul toward her even when your mind screamed don't. My uncle introduced her as Elena, and with a pause heavy enough to notice, added, "Your cousin, in a way." The words felt wrong, unfinished, as though he was hiding something. From the very beginning, Elena was a forbidden mystery. She carried herself with elegance, yet I sensed rebellion beneath the surface. At dinner that first night, I caught her staring at me across the candlelight, her lips curving in the faintest of knowing smiles. It wasn't the look family should exchange, it was a spark, a silent provocation. My uncle noticed too. His eyes darted between us, and he quickly shifted the conversation, steering it toward business matters, but the tension remained, thick, unspoken, undeniable. The days that followed only deepened the torment. I learned Elena had been living at Ashbourne for the past 5 years. She was supposedly the daughter of my late father's business partner, who had left her in my uncle's care before disappearing abroad. Yet the story never felt complete. Why was she hidden away in this house? Why had no one mentioned her before? The secrecy was suffocating, but the pull I felt toward her was worse. I tried to bury myself in estate affairs, but Elena was everywhere, in the gardens tending roses, in the library tracing her fingers along dusty spines, in the halls where her perfume lingered just long enough to drive me insane. One evening, I found her in the music room, playing the piano softly. The melody was haunting, a lullaby drenched in sorrow. I stood in the doorway, watching her slender fingers glide across the keys, mesmerized. She looked up, and our eyes locked. "You shouldn't be here," she whispered, though her voice lacked conviction. I stepped closer, unable to resist. "Maybe not," I admitted, "but I can't seem to stay away." She closed the piano with a sharp thud, rising to her feet. The air between us was electric, her nearness dangerous. "You don't understand," she said, her voice trembling. "If he suspects anything, it will destroy us both." And then she was gone, leaving me with a heart pounding against my ribs like a caged animal. From that night forward, resisting her became impossible. Every stolen glance, every brush of her hand against mine when passing a book or a glass of wine, chipped away at my restraint. The house itself seemed to conspire against me, its winding corridors pulling us together, its locked rooms tempting us with secrets. The storm broke one night when the electricity went out during a heavy downpour. I found her in the gallery, lightning flashing through stained glass windows, illuminating her face in fractured colors. She was trembling, frightened by the thunder. Instinct took over. I pulled her into my arms, telling her it was just a storm, but she clung to me like it was the world ending. Her lips brushed mine, tentative at first, then hungry, desperate. The kiss was fire, wild, forbidden, yet inevitable. When we broke apart, both gasping, she whispered, "This can't happen, but I want it more than I can breathe." We became addicts to our own secret. Late at night, when my uncle was asleep, Elena and I would steal moments together in hidden corners of the house. Her room became a sanctuary of whispered confessions and trembling touches. Every embrace carried the weight of risk, every kiss was a rebellion against the chains of family and fate. She told me fragments of her story, how she had been taken in not just out of kindness but because my uncle owed her father a debt of loyalty. But there was more she wasn't saying. Something about the way she'd stop mid-sentence, eyes clouded with fear, told me the real truth was far darker. The suspense tore at me until one night, in the flickering glow of candlelight, I demanded she tell me everything. Tears welled in her eyes as she confessed, "I'm not who you think I am. James has lied to you. I'm not your cousin. I was never meant to be part of this family. My father discovered something, documents that proved James had been embezzling from your father for years. He threatened to expose him. And then, my father disappeared. James brought me here, kept me hidden, told me if I ever left or spoke the truth, I'd end up like him. I've been trapped in this house, a prisoner dressed as a guest." The revelation hit me like ice water. My uncle, the man I had trusted, who had raised me after my father's death, was a monster. Suddenly, Elena's fear, her secrecy, her desperation all made sense. And it made my feelings for her even stronger. She wasn't forbidden by blood, she was forbidden by chains, by lies, by the cruel grip of a man determined to bury his sins. The risk was no longer just about scandal, it was about survival. From that night on, our love became not just forbidden but dangerous. We had to plan carefully, hiding our passion while secretly gathering evidence against James. Elena revealed the location of the hidden documents her father had left behind, ledgers, letters, proof of betrayal, all locked away in the study. We crept into the room together one stormy night, rifling through drawers with hearts pounding. Just as we found the box, the door creaked open. James stood there, rage carved into his face. "What have you done?" His voice was venom. Elena clutched my hand, trembling. "She's not your prisoner anymore," I shot back, standing between them. His eyes flicked to the box in my hand, then to Elena's defiant face. "You'll ruin everything," he growled, stepping closer. For a terrifying moment, I thought he might strike her, but I squared my shoulders. "The truth will ruin you, not us." The confrontation escalated until, finally, James backed away, his expression twisted in defeat. He knew he couldn't silence us without exposing himself further. Within days, I took the documents to the authorities, and the empire of lies he had built came crashing down. He was arrested, and Ashbourne Manor became mine to inherit, no longer a house of shadows but a place of liberation. Yet the true victory was Elena. Free at last, she was no longer a secret hidden in the dark. Standing with her in the gardens one morning, sunlight painting her skin gold, I realized I had risked everything, my inheritance, my safety, my peace, for her. And I would do it again 1,000 times. She was never truly forbidden, she was the missing piece of my soul. Even now, when the world sees only scandal in our beginning, I see destiny. Love isn't always neat or pure. Sometimes it's born in fire, forged through lies, wrapped in danger. But it's real. And as I hold Elena in my arms, her laughter soft against my chest, I know one thing with absolute certainty, she was forbidden, but I could never let go.